glory to the Creator once he decides on complete annulment. He asks the Creator to help him execute it. This means that although in the mind and the desire he sees the body disagrees with him, and in all his desires before the Creator, instead of for his own sake, should pray to the Creator to help him to want to annul before him with all the desires, leaving no desire for himself. This is called a complete prayer, meaning that he wishes that the Creator will give him a complete desire without any compromise to himself, and he asks of the Creator to help him always be with his righteousness. A person must decide that he wants the Creator to give him a desire to completely annul before him, meaning not leave any desire under his own authority, but that all the desires in him will be only to give glory to the Creator. Once he decides on complete annulment, he asks the Creator to help him execute it. This means that although in the mind and the desire he sees that the body disagrees with him, annulling all his desires before the Creator instead of for his own sake, he should pray to the Creator to help him want to annul before him all desires, leaving no desire for himself. This is called a complete prayer, meaning that he wishes that the Creator will give him a complete desire without any compromises to himself, and he asks of the Creator to help him always be with his righteousness. Active workshop question: how can we reach a complete prayer in the lesson? Active workshop question: how can we reach a complete prayer in the lesson? We should simply make an effort. Music. The prayer must be a complete prayer, meaning from the bottom of the heart. This means that one knows 100% that there is no one in the world who can help him but the Creator himself. Yet how does one know this, that no one will help him but the Creator himself? One can acquire this knowledge precisely if he has exerted all the powers at his disposal. It did not help him. One must do every possible thing in the world reign for the sake of the Creator. Then one can pray from the bottom of the heart, and then the Creator hears his prayer again. Except number 3, the prayer must be a complete prayer, meaning from the bottom of the heart. This means that one knows 100% that there is no one in the world who can help him, the Creator himself. How does one know this, that no one will help him but the Creator himself? One can acquire this knowledge precisely if he has exerted all the powers at his disposal and it did not help him. One must do every possible thing in the world to attain for the sake of the Creator. Then one can pray the bottom of the heart. The Creator hears his prayer. Silent question: in intentions and prayers we will increase the connection and unity between us. Silent workshop question: in intentions and prayers we will increase the connection and unity between us. Music. Pray of the friends. Almighty Creator, all praise is to you. We are grateful that you have brought us together in a common intention and action. Grant us the mercy to be devoted to each other and to you, to acquire your virtuous qualities and be as one man with one heart. Music. Anna, help our friends reach better and acquire the force of connection so that we can bestow upon all creation in your name. Amen. Music. Applause. Music. Amen. Music. Music. Hello, we reading in the writings of the article what is there is no blessing in which in that which is counted in a work. You can find the study materials in our website. You can also send us live questions through our websites. Again, Mom, the article is not a short one, but it's worthwhile to go through it bit by bit. The article what is there is no blessing in that which is counted in the work it is written in the to come, and see it was established that there is no blessing above on that which is counted. And if you say how were Israel counted, he took from them ransom for their souls, and they established that they did not calculate until all their ransom was collected and reached the number. Follows that in the beginning Israel are blessed when receiving their ROM. Afterward they counted their ransom, then they blessed Israel once more. It turns out that Israel were blessed in the beginning, and in the end there was no plague in. Asks, why does a plague appear because of the counting? The answers, it is because there is no blessing in that which is counted, and since the blessing has departed, the other side is on it and can do harm. We should understand the following. If there is no blessing in that which is counted, what is the difference if we count people or we count the ransom instead of the people? In the end we know the number of people. How does it help if we swap the ransom? Because finally we know their number. Why is their ransom specifically half a shekel and not a full or a quarter shekel? What does half mean to us? Why does the verse say the rich will not give more and the poor will not give less? Is there anyone who does not know that if we need to know a certain number and we swap so that instead of counting people we count something else, it must be same thing for everyone, or else it will not be possible to know the count? Therefore, what does this come to teach us? How does it benefit us if we're blessed in the beginning and in the end? If there is counting in the middle, do the blessings spoil the counting? If there cannot be blessing in that which is counted, understand all this in the work we must pay attention to. The purpose that one must achieve is known. That the order is that every purpose that one wants to achieve requires labor. Labor, nothing can be accomplished in the work of the Creator. What is the purpose that one wants to achieve and for which he labors? The answer is achieving adhesion with the Creator, which is called equivalence of form. This means that as the goal of the Creator in creating the world is to do good to his creation, our goal should be to do good to the Creator. In other words, men should do things to delight the Creator. This is called equivalence of form. This means that when the two forms come is one, the purpose of the Creator rests in the purpose of the created beings, follows that he is will to do good to his creation, which is the purpose of creation, presses in the desire to bestow contentment upon his Maker. This is called receiving. In order to bestow, follows that we should say that our reward for the labor is the attainment of the goal, much like corporal matters one exerts, and in return he achieves the goal for which he aspires, because nothing is given without an effort. It follows that when a person wants to walk on the path of truth, in order to achieve this goal called adhesion with the Creator, meaning when all his actions will be in order to bestow, he must put in labor, which is called suffering. This means that a person has to go against his nature. That man was created with vessels to bite himself. He must walk on the path that will lead to the lighting of the Creator, and not for his own sake. However, the body resists that. There are wars over this. One time the desire to bestow prevails, and another time the will to receive prevails. Yet we must know that all the powers that one might have, in order for him to receive, to be able to go against the will to receive, one must receive it from the Torah. It is as I said, I created the evil inclination, I have created the Torah. Is a spice is the reward one expects when he engages in Torah and labors in the Torah. It is to aim to be rewarded with the desire to bestow upon the Creator, this is considered that he is learning T in order to achieve Lishma. For her sake, in order to be. This is regarded as cling unto his attributes. Accordingly, there are two manners in the labor in the Torah. He labors in the study of Torah in order to thereby obtain self benefits, such as in order to be called rabbi, or payment of, etc. He labors in the Torah in order to obtain the power to go against self benefit. That here there is a different discernment to make in the labor. That is, a person must make great efforts in order to have the strength to labor in the Torah with this intention, which is against the body more. The body resists him as much as it can. It does not want to give him energy to exert in the Torah with this intention, whereas in Lishma, not for her sake there, if the body sees that it will get what it wants to receive in return, and the body gives him fuel to work so he can exert, and since the reward expects to receive does not go against the body can give him energy to work. Where when a person sees that he can obtain self-benefit through the labor, he has the power to do things and make great efforts, and there is no weakness in his work. This is how women, little ones, and uneducated people are first educated, since it is possible to convince a person who engage in only through. However, when a person should replace the dole where in the beginning of his work into his dole what he wanted to receive through the labor was self benefit, now he replaces the gold. That is where he thought, when will I achieve the goal for my will to receive so I can enjoy? Now he yearns for the goal and says, when will be able to delight the Creator and relinquish self benefit? Since this purpose is against nature, he needs more faith in the Creator, since he must always exert to obtain the greatness of the Creator. That is, to the extent that he believes in the greatness of the Creator, to that extent he can work with this intention. Therefore, it is upon the person to pray each day that the Creator will open his eyes so he will recognize the greatness and importance of the Creator, so that he has fuel to labor with the AIM. There are two discernments to make in this for him to have the desire to bestow contentment upon his Maker, that this will be his only aspiration. He will make deeds with the aim that these actions will bring him a desire to do things in order to delight the Creator. In other music words, he must work and toil extensively in order to obtain light, and light means that he will receive from the Creator a desire, so that he craves all day long to bring contentment to the Creator. CLE means desire, meaning that he will have a desire to bestow upon the Creator those two he should receive from the Creator, meaning both the light and the vessel. However, a person should demand this is written about it. No one demands. Her sages said this means that she ought to be sought, meaning that there must be a demand on the part of the lower ones, that the Creator will give them both the light and the vessel. Accordingly, we should interpret what is written will hear and come, and will give you a crown of kingship. It is known that the order of the work is as it is written, we shall do and we shall. Here do pertains to the created beings, which is called, which God has created to do. That is, the part of doing pertains to us, and by this we will be rewarded with hearing, which is what the Creator lets us hear. But in and of themselves the created beings cannot take upon themselves the work for the Creator, that it will be only for the Creator without self-benefit being involved. The hearing comes from the Creator, as it was at the time of the giving of the Torah, when the people of Israel heard from the Creator, I and you shall not Have before this there was a preparation to receive the Torah, as SES said that it was the matter of limiting and abstaining as it is written, and you should dedicate today and tomorrow. Subsequently they were rewarded with hearing the Torah. By this we should interpret those far away will hear and come, meaning the fact that they are far away, that there is a Torah, a law of life, life which is called as it is written, for with you is a source of life which is adhesion with the Creator. However, man is far from it. This distancing also comes from the Creator, since it is possible to be far from something only when a person knows clearly that there is a reality. However, he for some reason is far from it. First, a person must have faith in the Creator, then he can say that he feels far from the Creator. It follows that this feeling that he is far must give him feeling that the Creator watches over the world, and there is judgment, and there is a judge. However, he feels this from AAR, otherwise who tells him that he's far from the Creator. For this reason, when a person feels far from the Creator notifies him that by appearing to the person from afar. This means that when the Creator is hidden from him, a person cannot be in a state of remoteness, because who tells him that he's far. However, by the Creator appearing to him a little bit, this feeling comes to him that he is it the meaning of those far away will hear, meaning that the Creator sends them hearing, so they will feel that they are far and will come near, that they demand of the Creator to bring them closer, so they can achieve equivalence of form, which is vessels of stole. However, person can obtain these vessels only through help from above. This is called light. Our dress is in a vessel, meaning in the desire for this power. This is as it is it written, unless the Lord builds a house, builders labor in it in vain. The meaning of unless the Lord builds a house is that the heart becomes a building of holiness. The labor in it in vain means that the labor is in vain. It builders are those who want to build a structure of Kaddis. They must know and believe that without his help, because he gives both the vessel, meaning the desire and yearning to bestow, as well as the light, which is the force that a person receives so he can work in order to bestow. He gives everything. The person must first act, that is before the work. A person must say, if I am not for me, who is for me? Afterwards he should say, unless the Lord builds a house, its builders labor in it in vain, as it was prior to the giving of the Torah, meaning in order for the people of Israel to be able to hear the Torah that was given on Mount Sinai, there was preparation on the part of the people of Israel. They were given the matter of limitation and of limiting and abstaining. This is considered preparation on the part of the lower one. Afterwards it is possible to receive the Torah from the Creator. However, during the preparation, meaning before a person is rewarded with a vessel called a need to be able to work, so that all his actions are in order to music, bestow, send and send in him. At times he yearns for the Creator to give him the power to be able to do everything for the sake of the Creator. He asks the Creator to help him. He later suffers a descent, meaning that he feels no need to bring contentment to the Creator. Rather, he craves only counsel and tactics to fill himself with pleasures for the will to receive for himself. During the descent, a thought concerning spirituality comes to him, that he must work in order to bestow. He begins to think about the Creator, why the Creator forbade working for self benefit, and why should the Creator mind if a person does work for his own benefit. At that time he doubts the T and altogether why he wants to afflict us and has given us laws that are hard to observe. If he really is a merciful Father, why has he made us observe his myth through many prohibitions sometimes during an ascent. He also thinks about the Creator and why he has given us commandments of interest such as keep your souls, that is, the fact that man must eat, drink, and so forth. For what purpose did the Creator create these things? Does the existence of these things make a person smarter or more heaven fearing? Therefore the person asks why are corporal pleasures needed, since he sees no spiritual from it. The person ascends and descends at times. He does not understand why corporal pleasures were given to us in the first place, since now he understands that man's main purpose is to adhere to the Creator. So why were these corporal pleasures created during the descent? It is the complete opposite. He asks himself, why were many things prohibited to us, and in general why is it forbidden to work for self benefit, and we are as though compelled to work for the sake of the Creator, and if not, then we must suffer in this world and in the next. This is the order of the work during the preparation period, that is before a person is rewarded with permanent faith. He is in the catapult, thrown from end to end, and seeing that he has no freedom of choice, rather what they want above is what they do with him, while he is like clay in the hands of a pot without any say about himself. The person should believe that all the states he goes through are for his sake. That is specifically through the ups and downs you will achieve the desirable completion, as it is written, a king who puts to death and brings to life and brings forth salvation through the descents which are regarded as death in the work, and brings to life which is regarded as an ascent in the work. Specifically by this he brings forth salvation, meaning that man achieves. Hence now we can understand what we asked. Why do we need to count Israel in the first place? That is, who needs to know the number when counting is a dangerous matter. As it is written, there is no blessing in that which is counted, and also what difference does the correction they were given of giving ransom make, if in the end we know the number of Israel? Also what does it add to us if we bless in the beginning and in the end of the count? In the work, when speaking of everything within one person, we should know what is the counting of Israel. The work to achieve lishma, meaning to bestow, begins on the right line called wholeness. This is regarded as a man on whom there is blessing. From this a person should be happy and praise and thank the Creator for rewarding him with some grip on however much he has, since he knows that this too he does not deserve. This is regarded as being content with little. Thus he has no reason to count him to see how many qualities of Israel he has, meaning what percentage of his work can he say is, meaning how much effort he is willing to make for the called for the sake of the Creator. This is not interesting at all, because he says whatever grip I have in is more important than all the pleasures in the world. We could ask about this: if this is so important, why does he settle for little? To this he answers himself, I probably do not deserve to be given by the Creator a bigger share than I have, and I also see that there are people who do not have even this. It follows that he is a person in whom there is blessing, since he has something with which to be happy, and he sees that the rest of the people are joyful and happy over nonsense, while the Creator has given him the intellect and understanding to grasp that he should rejoice with the Creator. This is considered that before he comes to count the in him, meaning what he has inside the heart, he first blesses Israel. That is, he says that the Israel in him is blessed, meaning that he has a reason for gladness, since he is blessed and he is content with the little that he has afterward Israel are counted, meaning he shifts to the quality of the left and begins to introspect how much Torah and fear of heaven he has. At that time he sees that he is full of faults, and then there can be a plague, meaning that he might come into despair and escape the campaign and say that this work of bestow is not for him, yet he can no longer work in one line because he can no longer fool himself and say that this is real work, since the left keeps telling him what is the work of truth. This is the meaning of there is no blessing in that which is counted, since he always has deficiencies. As it is written, there is not a righteous man on earth who does good and sins not. It follows that according to the rule that where there is a lack there is a grip to the clipper, meaning that the sea shows him that this is not for him. With these complaints she kills him, meaning that whatever he had in spirituality she takes away from him, and he remains in the form of the wicked. In their lives are called dead. This is the meaning of what is written, that anything that is counted holds no blessing, since it is always deficient, and in every lack there is a great arter. The cot, this is called a plague, as it is written, and there will be no plague in them when you count them, that is through the ransom. There will not be death because of the counting. This means that when working in the left line, meaning although we are walking on the left line and there can be a plague through the ransom, there will be no plague in them. For this reason we were given the ADV, the advice that the deficiency must be visible to the pot, and they shall each give the ransom for his soul when you count them. That is, they should not regard the deficiencies they find when a person calculates what percentage are included in the quality of Israel. Rather, they should calculate how many corrections they must do in order to have ransom for their souls to the Creator, meaning that they will not look at the deficiencies but at the correction of the deficiencies, by which their soul, which was in the sippet, will emerge from them and cling to the Creator. This is called, and they gave each one the ransom for his soul, counting the corrections they must perform. They can only see corrections, as our sages said. A bill that is about to be collected is deemed collected. It follows that when looking at the corrections it is as though he has already performed them, and there's no place of deficiency here. This is the meaning of the verse. This is what everyone who numbered shall give. We should interpret that seeing the deficiencies is regarded as everyone who is numbered half a shekel, means as it is written, prayer makes half. It is the conduct of one who prays for himself that he has no wholeness but only half, since one who is whole has nothing to pray for. Hence our sages warned us not to work in order to receive reward but for wholeness. This means that when a person gives, what a person gives is regarded as half, meaning the CLE, which is the will to receive for himself, which has drifted from the Creator, and we must pray that the CLE will connect to the Creator, who is called the light. When the light shines in the CLE, it is considered wholest. This is the meaning of a prayer makes a half, where half means the CLE, for there's no light without a CLE. Therefore, when he prays and he feels like there is room to F the lack, it follows that the words they will give mean the CLE, which is half, called awakening from below, as was said, that the prayer for the deficiency is already considered a correction. For example, one person gave his coat to the cleaner to remove stains. He tells the owner of the laundry, I'm counting the number of corrections you should make so that I will know how much to pay you. He asks of the Creator of the laundry to fix and remove the stains, but then cannot be said that the person despairs when he sees that he has many stains, since he is not counting the stains so as to see how many deficiencies are in his coat. Rather, he counts how many corrections he must do. It follows that now he is not thinking of his deficiencies but about the corrections. Naturally, it cannot be said that there is a plague in them, meaning that he should escape the campaign and say that the work on the path of truth does not pertain to him. It follows that it is a great correction that we count the ransom and not the deficiencies in people. This is, as our sages said, a bill that is about to be collected is deemed collected. That is when we engage in corrections, it is as though it is already corrected, because now he is looking at the corrections and not at the deficiencies. In addition to the above mentioned correction of the ransom called ransom for his soul to the Creator, meaning when we speak of corrections that there will be with the Creator, we must bless before the count. This means that we must walk on the right line called blessing, meaning that he is a person who has no lack. Afterward we shift to the right to the left called counting, and then again to the right, which is called blessing. This is the meaning of what is written, that through blessing in the beginning and in the end, the counting will come true, and there will be no plague in them, but rather by this they will achieve real wholeness. Yes, this article is actually whole, complete. What going to do now? Well, we have many questions. Okay, let's start with one. Is it necessary to count the states we go through on the path? Is that a necessary condition? Otherwise, how we know what we're asking for? In other words, that's the work in the left line is, do I understand correctly? Say, so we've never done such work of making conclusions in the T of how much we obeyed. What are we lacking? A person should feel by himself where he is and what he's drawn to, which side moving, advancing. How before I do such work, how do I calibrate myself correctly? Here it says first there needs to be a blessing, and at the end there needs to be a blessing. How to bless in a way that the building will be correct? Well, this is what he writes, that you bless the Creator for the fact that he allows you to see your faults, and then you bless him for correcting these faults. Are good morning. What kind of preparation a person needs to make in order to hear the toe in his heart, and why is the why is such a need necessary to hear the Torah in his heart? Means we have to aim our heart to the same purpose as the Torah brings us to, and in this way we will feel in that the whole and melody of the Torah, what it is drawing us to, what it is directing us to, and in this way we will reach knowing the correction. Music. No. Ukraine, women. Ukraine, you have a question from a friend. It is written, turns out that one blesses Israel before the ransom, then there's the counting of it, and then blessing for Israel again. What does rubbish mean here in the blessing before and after? How does that have to do with the structure of the music? Prayer, we bless the Creator, or revealing to us well gradually all of the how shall I put it? Oh, look what's happening to me. All of the deficiencies or faults, all of the mistakes, flaws, then we thank him for correcting these flaws within us. This is how we shift music from, so that we have both the faults and the corrections, and for all of that we thank the Creator for the deficiencies, the faults that he to begin with created in us, and also for those steps through which we correct these faults, and this is how we advance forward. He writes that all the actions need to be for the sake of heaven, and one needs to labor, which is referred to as suffering, meaning that a Person needs to go against his nature. The question is the suffering itself is a correction, or it needs to lead us to what corrects us. Partially the suffering themselves are also corrections. 35. Thank you if you say to hear the Toit means that within my heart I need to be happy, and that the Creator shows me where my flaws are so I can demand him for correction if I understand correctly, meaning by revealing my corruptions through the friends, and I asked him to correct these flaws so by that time I'm happy I have contact with him, that I demand it from him. On the one hand you're right, but on the other hand, since you do have flaws, you can't adhere to him. So the second question I wanted to ask, he says that specifically by ups and downs, when we'll come to the desired wholeness, what is the wholeness that I need to reach, that all of the ends and distance will bring you to complete connection with the Creator, so that I'm certain that everything I'm asking him is a true deficiency that I received from the Creator. Yes, be thank you. Well, where do the doubts come from? What the Creator sends there regarding what? Well, doubt about what the Creator is, even it's a result of the fact that I don't have a clear connection with him, how to turn to him, how to pray to him as much as you can earn, as much as is possible for you. Gradually the Creator will become more and more revealed to you according to your requests. There's a feeling that he rejects me done deliberately. It is done deliberately so that you will yearn more to him. On P25. Good morning. In the article, Rash writes that correcting the deficiencies that appear in the person offers the person rewards, and then he has engaged motivation to engage in corrections. What is our reward now? While we forbidden to see the reward, and so that we get closer to the Creator according to equivalence of form. This is the reward. Yeah, I understand intellectually, but these corrections I'm saying in the 10, if preserve our structure, we don't awaken deficiencies, try to keep it, but how to reach a correction that is more advanced, more challenging, more as if we're afraid to reach something that undermines the structure of the 10. So how to approach correction that will give us more and more deficiency to advance to a higher state, to a greater connection. I feel like we're missing something. We have nothing to be afraid of. The opposite, we should shake the Creator so that he will elevate us to him. He will give us both the questions as well as the answers for anything that might awaken in us. This is what we are expecting. PT25. Oh, we had them already. Good morning, Rob. Friends, you described the state before of hearing the sounds of the T. What is that state? Again, you hear the sounds of the T. What is that state? Well, the melodies, specifically the Torah, plays in a person in such a way that something it refers to the sense of hearing. Why the inner sense of hearing? It's not what you hear with your ears, right, but still this is the word they chose, so I'll let it go if it's not an issue. But why is it hearing? Hearing is the force of OK to US in or West. Thank you. When we pray for corrections, are we building a mores, and do we certainly precisely by this we advance. Woman Turkey. 7. For what is the force that drives change, that allows the person to change the intention and get closer to the Creator? Again, what is the force that drives change in the person that allows him to change his intention and get closer to the Creator? Again, it's the force that awakens in a person from the side of the Creator. If the Creator wouldn't awaken the person, then he wouldn't ascend at all. He wouldn't change specifically by the Creator. Shaking him, he begins to ask why, from where, and so on. Turkey 5. Good morning are what is permanent fate, and how can we reach it? Permanent faith is a result of the feeling of the Creator in a complete manner, that fs a person, that is all. P 29. He said light is called that he received the desire from the Creator, that he longs to bring contentment to the Creator all day, and cle means a desire, meaning that he'll have a desire to want to bestow to the Creator. So this is a desire, that's a desire. What's the difference between light and clear? Really, there is a desire that he wants to bestow, and there is a desire that he's capable of. This is the difference between the vessel and the light. Kabu 10. Good morning, Ra and friends. Question is how to increase faith in Creator in order to feel how far I am from the Creator. Thank you. As much as we want to get closer to the Creator, we discover that we don't yet have the same qualities in which we can adhere to the Creator, and this is how we attain Him. To learn that, we have to be in joy, in gratitude, in praise, in the work. I wanted to focus it. What is the point which each one should be grateful and be happy that he has a 10. What to be grateful for regarding this? Music means that the Creator accompanies us towards the complete correction, and on the way connects us and guides us. What is special about it? That I have a 10, that the Creator orang such a means for me. What special? He gave you conditions by which you can develop and attain Him. How do I value these conditions? More so that they truly become such that I'll be in gratitude that He arranged these conditions for me, the conditions called the 10. This depends on how you appreciate the 10. That's it. Mark 6. Mark 6. Good morning, friends. Says that first the blessing comes, then the counting, then again the blessing is the blessing in the beginning. Can we say that it's the reference point about how far we are from the Creator, and the counting is a place to come closer the moment we relate to the deficiencies that push us away, the C for the corrections that bring us closer to the Creator. Once we see efficiency, we have to shift it, give it to the Creator. Clay in the hands of the water, then we reach a greater blessing. Yes, you can say that. Correct. Woman PT. Women. Reading the whole article, it says that the Creator does everything. He gives us the desire, He gives us the correction, and the person only counts the corrections that the Creator makes. The person seemingly observes the work of the Creator, and yet in the article it says, if I'm not for myself, who is for me? So in the end, what is man's work if the Creator does everything? We're reading an article with you now. For example, is everything clear about this article? Of course not. Also, what we see that we do understand, it just seems to us right now that we understand. Later we'll find some question marks there, then that question mark will transform to other question marks, and so forth, meaning we gradually go deeper into the meaning of what we're studying, and that's how we get closer to the Rash, let's say to the author, and through him to the Creator there. This means that our work sums up to the work of the observer. How much do we always want to go and follow the Kabbalists and create the right relation to the Creator? Yes, what else? Every article is teaching us it's only how to correct and further calibrate ourselves towards the Creator. So ultimately, eventually, what that grows in a person is how is the relation to the Creator, right? That's why it's also called that way. A dumb man. What does it mean to observe the look at the correction, not the deficiencies? I don't exactly know what was said there, but the issue is that the deficiency is good only in that it pushes us. When we acquire the correction, then we understand what was the meaning being shown our deficiencies. There's a feeling that if we focus on the deficiencies on the left line that's incorrect, we need to focus on the corrections. So how should we operate exactly to be similar to the corrected state? In the article it says that there has to be a demand from the side of the lower one, that the creator will give both the light and the CLE, the vessel. What is the difference between these two things? How do we demand the light? How do we demand the vessel? How to demand the light and how to demand the CLE? That already depends on the person. As much as we understand that's the uncorrected qualities in the beginning that the creator places before us, and we have to appreciate these qualities and raise them to the creator so that he corrects them, and thus we go through our path gradually from a state that's not corrected to a state that is corrected. That's how do we demand the light and the light. Yes, what do you mean by demanding the light? The article it says that we should demand the light and also demand the vessel. The light and the vessel. Light is the force of correction, the force that corrects. Ma is adhesion with the creator, and my relation to the creator is that when I pray to him for the benefit of the friends, and I ask that he will connect us to a single vessel with the intention that I'm doing it for the creator, and by this I draw the force of faith, meaning confidence in the creator, to our connection, and every friend that is incorporated in this work in mutual awe, he also receives this force. Is this the principle? Yes, that in principle is our entire work. In the 10 why when a friend receives a certain trouble, there is resistance to work with this deficiency. The 10 there is a resistance because it's not a personal deficiency, it's like a foreign deficiency. The creator especially creates a burdening of the heart here so that we overcome it. Maybe he wants to show us by that the friend himself pray to the creator that he will feel a force so that he can. The friend himself can't do anything. No one can do anything except by raising a prayer to the creator, by asking him a yes. Okay, Latin 1. Next, Latin 1. What is the plague in our work, and how can we avoid such a plague? To avoid it is possible only on the condition that we incorporate with each other, and then we are not allowing this plague to stand out to show itself between us. Woman, Moscow women, Moscow. Hello world. CLE speaks a lot here about blessing. It sounds as though it pertains to faith in the greatness of the creator. Is that correct? How are these two things related? Article throughout the whole article it says it speaks of the blessing before the counting, after the counting. Is this related to faith in the greatness of the creator? Yes, that is the blessing reveals to us the greatness of the creator. Can you explain it more? When we bless the creator, by that we elevate him above us more and more, and this is how we can draw more of his light onto ourselves. Thank you, dear REV world. CLE, this article talks about us bringing our half shekel, and a prayer makes half. My question is, are my friends this other half shekel of wholeness, or is this other half shekel a prayer I need to come to for this wholeness? The half of the she is what we can receive from the society, the group, and to put all those halves together until we get a complete check-in. What is the connection between confidence in the creator and a blessing? To the extent of confidence in the creator, you can be awarded with blessing. And how do we increase our confidence in the creator? Confidence in the creator, we can measure that according to how capable we are of giving to the creator. That's how it is. It seems that in this article he's describing our work on the right and then on the Left, for instance, if we got a blessing. So we're in the right, and there's a danger that we'll get an enthusiastic of that state, and then we'll lose contact with the Creator, and then we right away have to look in the direction of what we're lacking in order to come closer to the Creator, and then I ask for a new vessel, the left line, to be open, and then when I reach the left line and see what a deficiency I have, so I also look at the direction towards the Creator, I see how much I'm remaining in order to reach in the corrections, and then I'm asking for the light, and then constantly on the right I'm asking for the vessel, and on the left I'm asking for the light. Right, you can say that for now, sure. Falk. You, the article says that if the Creator won't build his home, his workers were working for no reason. What efforts does the Creator want from us? What will really bring us closer to the goal? Only connection between us. This is called the temple, the house. This only that our connection to point that we feel that there is a complete soul within us. Okay, Italy. Music. 1. How long do we need to be in the left in order for the minute to take place, and that we'll see our distance from the Creator? How long do we have to do this for the prayer? This depends on the group, on people, the connection between them. I can't say exactly how many minutes, how many hours, I don't know. We have to know what we have to reach, what kind of connection we have to reach in order to raise a complete prayer. Okay, what is the ransom, and what is that? In the 10, ransom is form of payment. What does it mean, a payment? What are we paying the Creator? The 10, what is this action in our life we must pay? Ransom. That means that we have to give forces to the society by which we attain the soul. Ransom for my soul. This topic, he says that instead of thinking of the deficiencies, we have to think of the corrections. So what's the difference between thinking of a deficiency to thinking of a correction? There a great difference. That this is a fundamental point. Are we thinking that the Creator created everything, to take us through suffering, or to take us through a path where we collect the broken pieces, and by that to rise to correction? So I think she's asking, what is that in the 10? What is this payment? In the 10, how do we think not of deficiencies but corrections? In the 10, this has to do with the connection between us, the connection between the friends, men, the women. In the how do we not fall in the deficiencies but work in the corrections? We hold on to one another. We have no other power, only to support each other. I don't have the strength for myself, I have the strength for the friends, and so on. Among the friends we have to hold one another, uplift one another, and in this way we'll be able to see the complete vessel. Thank you. You were saying how we demand the vessel, and you said that it depends on as much as we understand that our uncorrected qualities are presented before us by the Creator, and we have to value them in order to raise them to the Creator to correct. So what you described as man's work with the vessels of re-reception in order to bestow. Yes, so can a person ask the Creator to open uncorrected qualities before him? No, the Creator does it according to his plan. To ask for deficiencies, we have to ask for the correction of the deficiencies. Can you ask for corrections on your uncorrected qualities if you don't feel that they're being revealed? How could a person work with the vessels of reception? What step can he take to start working with the vessels of reception without asking for uncorrected qualities? If the Creator doesn't open up these qualities for him, these corrupt qualities, then perhaps in this way is not able to correct them, to feel them, to detect them. That's why you need to still work in connection in the group. Describes Extreme states that he's thrown from one end to the other. Would it help a person to conceal the work in greatness and work him in concealment and smallness in order to not fall into those extreme states? Didn't understand how the creator doesn't do anything and the person himself imagines all those states, invents those states. No, a person looks in relation to the group, he's connected to the group. So if a person conceals his ego before the group and works with the creator, is that possible? For example, in order to not fall into an extreme right state like Rash is describing, or to the left, in order for that a person somehow preserve himself to go in faith and not after extreme states, only if he's absolutely connected to the friends. Only in this case, the central concept in the article, he's saying that if we count deficiencies, food have a grasp on it, and that brings diseases, and then you pay a ransom and all the deficiencies turn to corrections. Can you explain how all that is done? No, we have another article about ransom, so we'll see it there. No woman with one. Thank you. Good morning, everybody. It's written in the article that when a person is a descent, his thoughts comes and he starts contemplating a log together on the toe. Why makes us why, gives us sorrow, and he gives us laws that are hard to keep. And is he really the merciful? Why is he letting us perform his commandments with so much suffering? So really, how to overcome those thoughts and be happy with what the creator is bringing us, and even giving us a part in this work. Everything we receive it because the creator awakens in us behind the scenes, twists us and turns us in all directions and in all kinds of states, and we have to follow it and try to be an adhesion with him through all those states, both the ascents and the descent. And that is the main thing. This is the main thing. Good morning. What is the sign before asking for correction? Let's say when I do want to the stains to be removed from the laundry, for instance, it looks like that we pray that all the stains will be removed. I don't care about every single stain, I just want a clean laundry. So do I need to know all the specific stains and ask for specific corrections, or can I say, okay, Mr. Laundry, clean the whole laundry at once because I'm only interested in a clean laundry? Depends on what kind of state you are on the path. It's possible that for you all those stains look as one thing. Foundation for the time being is like that, and it's possible that you are paying attention to each and every one of them, and you're not allowing yourself even one stain to go unnoticed. I wanted to scrutinize about that first step. He writes that you have to give blessing before the counting. So if a person sits at home and thinks of his friends in the tea and tries, like you said, to fill them with my forces, and he's not lacking anything in that state but just remains in some plea that the creator will help him remain in that state, is that the first state of blessing? But he's not asking for anything, asking to remain in that state. That for himself he doesn't need anything, and for the others he's asking to have an ability to remain in them, tendency towards them. Don't run away from, in the way you are expressing it. That's a problem. You're asking what he asks for the others in general. What is his deficiency without revealing a deficiency? A person is dead. That's a second stage where he turns to the left and scrutinizes what he's lacking. I'm asking about the first state. Let it be the way you think. No, I'm asking about you. I don't understand. A man with a deficiency is not a man, and as much as he glues his deficiency to the society, by that he measures the height of the human in him. That what does he want for society you want for the society general, connection and advancement meaning also, connection with the creator. Age 4. Good morning. Everybody when a person ascends he asks, why are there corporal pleasures, and in a descent he's asking why he's not getting fulfillment for them. How do we come out of this loop? Means that we always have deficiencies, either those or the others, and we have to detect always where we are relative to them. We either close to these or to those, and how we can connect all those deficiencies, combine them and bring ourselves to the creator with different intention from one state to the other, or in both states, to be with the same intention and prayer. The same intention is a person in prayer through the yes, and when a person is in the state of prayer, is that hearing the toe. Yes, you can say that when I ask for deficiency, I asked to correct my attitude towards the friends, and when I ask for light, I'm asking to fill their desire. Yeah, you can say that depend on us in what way the creator will lead us through suffering or through gathering the shattering. Yeah, it's up to us. It depends on how much we are collect together, how much we yearn to be together. The 10 is asking, it says that there was a preparation in the sons of Israel, that they were given limitations which are preparations from the lower ones, and then there's a place to receive the toe from the creator. So what is that, and how to implement it in the tent? We cannot scrutinize it just yet. To glue my deficiency to the 10 is that through examples and concern about their spirituality, but also corporal. Yes, do not cancel their corporality. It says the corporality is your spirituality. No internet, or we go to the next article. There are questions on the internet. Woman, okay, women, Lithuania and everyone. What is the true deficiency for correction? Are the true deficiency for correction is adhesion in the creator. Music. No. Good morning world. 10 in the third paragraph he writes, the creator gives him the mind to be happy with the creator, that before he's going to count that in him. So first he blesses the Israel in his heart, that Israel on him is blessed, and he has what to rejoice with, cause he has the blessing and works in happiness. Then it says that he has to go to the left side to reveal the deficiency, and here it's interesting that he writes, since the left tells him every time what the work of truth is the truth working in the left? No, but the left shows him how much is in it, and then once he goes through both those processes, Bash writes that it becomes as if he gets a state of a disease and is tossed out. So the crater throws a person from the right and the left, and he needs to remain in the blessing of what he got in be and happiness on all this process, because by that he's correct himself. Doesn't look at his feeling, he looks at his goal. If there's no diff and see the friend is considered as dead. So in that state, how to acquire the deficiency for the friend? Through your friends, he needs to cleave to them and receive from them the deficiency, and he should work with this deficiency. What could awaken him to hear to the friends? It doesn't matter that he doesn't feel anything. You should see how much he's not in the state of being like the others, as it's written, envy lost in honor take a person out of this world, meaning you should look at the others and envy them. He must do it. That's what will save him. Woman. Question from a friend. When the creator shows a person how far he is from him, by that does the creator actually want a person to ascend to a higher degree and start working in Lishma? How does that transition happen? Because in the article he says that he starts working for the goal that is for the sake of the heavens. So how does this transition happen, which transition he sees where he is. He negates that state he wants to be in the correct state, not more advanced, but correct, more correct, and then he performs actions that take him to it through the connection with the friends. Of course, go to the internet, ask Turkey 5 women are asking. It says that they created beings do the deeds, and through that we reach hearing. What does it mean, hearing, in our work? How do we attain it? Hearing is a very high degree. It's a degree of being. It's a spiritual degree, and therefore we need to greatly respect it. How do you reach it? How do we attain the degree of hearing? By connecting, and each and everyone wants to hear what is in his friend's heart. Then gradually the heart opens and a person starts to hear what's there, and through the heart of the friend he comes to a hearing. See, hello, can we say that fear of the Creator becomes an action of praying for the friends? Can, yes, from fear of the Creator you come to prayer. So before the next part we'll go to a song and keep going. Music. For music. For music. For music. For music. Applause. Music. For music. Music. For music. Music. For music. 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 For my music. Sh. Music. 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 Yeah. So we're reading from the writings of Beda. He's the article, the piece, an imperial scientific research about the necessity of the work of the Creator. The wolf shall dwell with the lamb, and the leopard shall lay down with the kid, and the calf and the young lion and the fatling together, and the little child shall lead them. And it shall come to pass on that day that the Lord shall set his hand again a second time to recover the remnant of his people who shall be left from us, and from Egypt, and from Patos, and from Cush, and from Elm, and from Shul, and from it, and from the islands of the sea. Shimon said, the Lord did not find a vessel to hold the blessing for Israel, but peace, as was said, the Lord will give strength to his people. The Lord will bless his people with peace. Shem. After having demonstrated in previous articles the general form of his work, whose essence is nothing more and nothing less than the love of others, particularly determined as bestow upon others, meaning that the actual manifestation of love of others is bestow of goodness upon others. Love of others should therefore be determined as bestow upon others, which is best suited for its content, aiming to ensure that we do not forget the intention. Now that we know for certain the conduct of his work, there still remains to inquire whether we accept this work on faith alone, without any scientific imperial basis, or do we also have an empirical basis for this? This is what I want to prove in the essay before us, but first I must thoroughly prove the subject, meaning who it is who accept work. But I am not an enthusiast of formative philosophy, since I dislike theoretical based studies, as it is well known that most of my contemporaries agree with me, or we are too familiar with such foundations which are rickety foundations, and when the foundation fluctuates the whole building tumbles. Therefore I have come here to speak only through critique of imperial reason, beginning from the simple recognition no one disagrees with, through proving analytically, separating the various elements in an issue until we come to determine the utmost topic, and it will be tested cynically the connection and unity between matters such as, and the all the more so how his work is confirmed and reaffirmed by a simple recognition from the practical aspect questions. Please, as much as I read this article, throughout the years I still don't understand how you can prove the work of the creator. Music. Scientifically go over this article together today, tomorrow, and we'll see if we succeed it or not, but that's what he writes. The beginning of the article, an empirical, scientific research, meaning a scientific research based on experiments, laws, experimentation that necessitate us to accept the work of the creator, constantly saying that the base to research can only be above reason, the whole work, but science is in reason. Above reason doesn't mean that we toss out reason, it just means it refers to how we relate to reason and to what's above reason. How do we relate to these two degrees of the science of the investigation for the time being? Right. Questions. Speaks here about the scientific empirical approach is we first perform an analysis, then we do a synthesis. What's the validity of this approach? Why is this approach called scientific? I don't know, friends. We'll see, we'll read together. Nobody is concealing their questions. Here, write down all your questions so you don't forget. Well, look at them and try and find answers for those questions. We can't hear you. Contradictions in providence. Every reasonable person who examines the reality before us find two complete opposites in it. When examining creation, its reality and conduct, there is an apparent and affirmed leadership of great wisdom and skill, one both regarding the formation of reality, the securing of its existence in general. Let's take the making of a human being as an example. The love and pleasure of the progenitors is its first reason, guaranteed to perform its duty, and when the essential drop is extracted from the father's brain, Providence has very wisely secured a safe place for it, which qualifies it to receive life. Providence also gives it daily bread in the exact amount, and Providence has also prepared a wonderful foundation for in the mother's womb, so that no stranger might harm it. It tends to its every need like a trained nanny who will not forget it for a moment until it has acquired the strength to emerge into our world. At that time, Providence briefly lends it just enough strength to break the walls that surround it, and like a trained armed warrior it breaks and opening and emerges into the world. Then Providence does not abandon it. Like a loving mother, it brings it such loving, loyal people it can trust, called mother and father, to assist it through its days of weakness until it grows and can sustain itself. As men, so are all the animals, plants and inanimate. All are wisely and mercifully cared for to ensure their own existence and the continuation of their species. But those who examine that reality from the perspective of provision and persistence of existence can clearly see great disorder and confusion, as though there were no leader and no guidance. Everyone does that which is right in his own eyes, building himself on the ruin of others. The evil thrive and the righteous are trampled mercilessly. Bear in mind that this oppositeness set before the eyes of every sensible, educated person has preoccupied humanity even in ancient times, and there are many methods to explain these two apparent opposites in Providence which occupy the same world. For now I don't see any questions. Oh, good morning, Rob. Didn't hear you. Headline of this article is peace. Then it say there's no vessel to hold blessing for Israel but peace. I don't feel that there's any blessing. I don't know. If I read 2 lines I can tell you about the whole article, but what is this vessel that holds the blessing for Israel. What is that concept of peace? I don't know. Mister, I'm happy you have questions and that more people have questions, and then it means that we can get answers. No, so we don't know what pi is. No, if I know, so you have to read it and learn it. What can I tell you? Okay, well, what can I say? No, what is he asking in this? Why is their wholeness and imperfection, why things in reality don't settle in our minds, that before we a nature, that there's a collection of much confusion that we can digest. That's it. On one hand we have wholeness, on the other hand lack of wholeness, and the parts of reality and the whole reality. Anyway, everything is really confused and messed up, and we need to solve this problem, otherwise we don't know where we are, what forces are conducting us, and what we need to do, especially in our times and from generation to the next. From year to year we feel that we're even getting more complicated. So for that, seemingly they invented science. It takes natural phenomena and it investigates it as much as a human mind can tolerate. And science truly advanced us in the last 300 years. Of course, nobody's saying anything against it, but I guess it's not enough, because we see that even with all the questions that science is asking, we still don't understand the laws of nature, where we are, what's going on happening to us, what's happening before us. We don't know. Then the question is, what approach do we need to approach this with? That's the main thing, and we'll see that. So he's saying that against this we have a few methods. Yes, first method is nature. This method is an ancient one, since they did not find a way and an outlet to bring these two evident opposites closer. They came to assume that the Creator, who created all these, who watches mightily over his reality, lest any of it be canal, is mindless and senseless. Although he watches over creation, although he watches over the existence of reality with wondrous wisdom, he himself is mindless and does all that senselessly. If there had been any reason and feeling in him, you would certainly not lead such malfunctions in the vision of reality without pity or compassion for the tormented. For this reason they named him nature, meaning a mindless, heartless supervisor. For this reason they believe that there is no one to be angry at, pray to, or justify before him can. So that means the first method is nature. That's how it is, from itself, for what nobody knows, that revolves in such a way, and that's it. So we don't have questions except for women. Lithuania. Please, is peace possible without? We don't know what in the end of correction is, what pieces we are reading the article and trying through what we're reading. We're trying to understand it, and we're not jumping to the end according to what we are on the way in reading the article. We learn that reality works according to absolute laws. How is it different, a reality of absolute laws, from this method called nature? I don't know exactly what you're tending towards, but the determined laws are that we are in a net of connections called nature, and this net of connections is a net, constant and well organized, and we should learn it. And when we learn it, we'll understand how it activates us, works on us, how we can respond to it. Still, it's a net of force that between them there's nothing else but the laws of nature. You see, once we thought that nature has only organic laws. I don't know how to say of the still vegetative animate. Through that we developed everything. Now we're speaking about law, psychology, upper psychical laws, the laws of the speaking, the laws that are between us. There are also some special relationships we have to learn them, and through that to understand who We are what we are, and so on I. And what's lacking in this method is BAS. On the cribs it calling it nature is it. Lacking the goal, the purpose for which this whole business was created could be that not because to all natural development even on the still and digit we see that there's still the purpose of development in there, and we can learn it, and from learning it we can use it. So what is the qualitative addition that the wisdom of Kabul has to add above this nature that he describes here, that we're learning in a bigger depth, that we can't learn it from our senses? The wisdom of Kabbalah can help us research nature in a height that we ourselves can't reach. You wanted to ask, well, let him ask. Here, how do I reach the perception that in the root of nature there's some reasons, some knowledge, and not simply mechanical laws? Again repeat, please, how do I come to feel that nature and it root has a mind as a desire, and it's not only a collection of mechanical laws? I don't know. Let's see what writes first. Let's see, maybe we won't need inner level, secret levels of nature, the creator, but it'll be enough like anything through the vegetative, the still vegetative and animate, and we're also part of the animate degree. We see that in nature things grow on their own laws that are already in every part of nature. Everything is ready for development, and we don't need more than that. Well, let's keep going and we'll see. But even though he watches over the existence of reality with wondrous wisdom, he is mindless. Is this a secular approach? Because say there is, they believe, someone who created it and watches over it, but he's mindless. Is it secular? No. If you are going according to that method, you have to say that to begin with there's no wisdom organizing all these things and wanting to bring them to some kind of result, but it's being just revolving according to the laws that are already in nature. Okay, because he says that they believe that there's a creator, someone who watches over in this method. But you say, is this a secular approach? That's my question. I'm not separating between secular or religious. The matter is a lot more complex, so let's keep going and think. We second method is two authorities. The others were more sophisticated. They found it difficult to accept the premise of nature's supervision, since they saw that the supervision over a reality to secure its existence is a far deeper wisdom than any human culmination. They could not agree that the overseer over all these is himself mindless, for how can one give that which one does not possess? Can one teach one's friend while he himself is a fool? How can you say about he who performs before such astute and wise deeds that he does not know what he's doing? He does it by chance, which it is evident that chance cannot arrange any orderly deed devised in wisdom, much less secure its eternal existence. They came to a second assumption, that there are two supervisors. Here one creates and sustains the good, and the other creates that sustains the bad, and they have greatly elaborated that method with evidence and proofs along the way. So that's according to what we see in nature. It seems right, there's a good force and a bad force, and two contradicting forces that are working between them. All of nature is actually between the two. It could be that it's right, and that's how it works out. And the third method is multiple gods. This method was born out of the bosom of the method of two authorities. This is because they had divided and separated each of the general act for itself, meaning strength, wealth, domination, beauty, famine, death, disorder, and so on. They appointed each its own supervisor and expanded the matter as they wished. Yeah, we all learned it, we all read It you thought that there's an upper force in each and everything, and fire and water and clouds and everything, and those gods are conducting all of reality. Next, fifth method left his operation recently when knowledge increased and they saw the tight linkage among all parts of creation. They recognized the concept of multiple gods to be completely impossible, thus the question of the oppositeness sensed in creation reawakened. This led them to a new assumption that the supervisor of reality is indeed wise and caring because of his exaltedness, which is beyond conception. Our world is deemed a grain of sand, nothing in his eyes. It is not worthwhile for him to bother with our petty matters, which is why our livelihood is so disordered. Every man does that which is right in his own eyes, so that's an approach. What can you say? I see that you all agree. And alongside these methods there existed religious methods of godly unity, but this is not the place to examine them, as I only wanted to examine the origins from which the foul methods and puzzling assumptions that vastly dominated and expanded at different times places were taken. Find that the basis on which all the above methods were born and emerged is the contradiction between the two types of providence detectable in our world, and all these methods came about only to mend that great rift. Yet nothing is new under the sun. Not only is that great rift not been mended, it grows and expands before us into a terrible chasm without seeing or hoping for a way out of. When I look at all those attempts that humanity has been making for several thousand years to no avail, I wonder if we should not seek the mending of this great rift from the supervisor's point of view at all. Rather accept that this great correction is in our own hands. So here we have to ask. B says, let's not search what's happening in nature. We could maybe not find anything, but let's look inside of us. In the approach to this research of nature, of ourselves, of life, there we can find our mistakes or maybe a new approach. But let's get in there and see, will it give us some direction to advance in? No, I don't know. Should we keep going? Or no, I don't think this is already a greater part. And yeah, here he opens up a new big answer, a long answer. Okay, so we will keep going with God's help. Tomorrow, what else do we have? Can hear you. In a sense, we finished for today. Unless you want to keep going. No, I'll wait for tomorrow. That they'll have questions from reading that. They'll discuss it between them, and then tomorrow we'll already try to solve these questions. I'm hugging you all, and may you all have peace and health. Good luck. All the best. Thank you to Ra. Thank you to R. We'll see. Have a few announcements. Building a spiritual society, a weekly meeting on the life of news, updates on society and dissemination. Today, Sunday, 6:30 to 7 p.m. on the air system, and our schedule for today, 10:40, have a news program with Rob. Light 10:11, the introduction to the book of and at noon the afternoon lesson, and at 6:30 p.m. building a spiritual society and a song. Through the fire we ignite. There's a place where we unite through the hearts, a stream of light piercing through the night. Through the fire we ignite. There's a place where we unite through the hearts, a stream of life piercing through the night, and together with a torch that burns together with the heart that he is, all together with just one to one, and together with a torch the burn together with a heart that he, all together with just one gold is to one. Music, home together, together shadows dance with light together in a beyond place and time.